Hello and welcome to the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast with me, Clive Barber, and my good mate, Noel Tom. For the days when you can't ride your bike, there's always the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast. Now then, here we go again. Season 5, Episode 3. This week we are delighted to be joined by Carl and Craig Searles, otherwise known as Searles2Dakar. Carl and Craig are both entering as a team to the Dakar 2025, and they're here to tell us all about the preparation, the costs, what it takes to actually get yourself to the Dakar. Again, hoping this one is part 1 of possibly 3 parts, so we'd love to get the guys on as well once they're nearer to actually starting the race, and then hopefully we'll talk to them after the race and they can tell us all about how it's gone. Let's get on with it. It was this week, wasn't it? The latest one. We talked about the 2 festivals that we've been to, and
I think you mentioned about Noel looping out the gas, was it?
Yeah, what a twat.
Yeah, all right. Crikey, Moses.
I thought I was really kind to you, not taking the piss too much.
You fuck one goat, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
I've got a list of questions, and Noel will just chime in with, because he actually listens, whereas I can give a fuck really, but I'm joking. So he'll listen and he'll ask you some questions. Hopefully he's Googled what the Dakar Rally is today.
Yeah, that's it.
He's not.
Hopefully.
He's not
At least
much,
one of us should know then.
yeah, he's not much of a racer. Although we have done one rally, the pair of us.
Oh, nice.
So we'll
that's one more than us then.
We'll give you some top tips later.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, we've not actually done a rally as yet.
Right. Well, we just did one of the UK. I've done a few of the UK rounds, and you just do 4 loops on a Saturday, 3 loops on a Sunday, like 30 mile. There'll be a timed section which lasts about 3 minutes or something like that. So it's just a bit of a fun ride out in a forest that you wouldn't normally get to ride in, really. Tell us who you are and why are we talking to you today?
I'm Carl.
I'm Craig, and we're going to the Dakar Rally.
Yeah, so we're going to attempt to get to the Dakar Rally in 2025, which it will most 99% be in Saudi Arabia again. So it'll be out there for a few more years yet. We're pretty certain of that. We decided back in January this year, just as Dakar finished, that we were going to go for it. I was actually just sat in a calf, and I had a message from Craig just saying, Dakar 2025 ? And it was like, oh, right, here we go then. It's go time. We're going to go for it. Yeah, but we've watched the Dakar for years, haven't we?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, since we were kids, really. We said previously that we used to love watching the crashes. Not really the reason why we're going to Dakar, but, when we watched all the films and stuff come through, it was like, why, what's that event, Dad? Because he used to bring, like, the VCR back home. It would be like Havoc. It was Havoc, wasn't it?
yeah, I don't know if you guys remember those.
I do.
The Havoc series, the crashing and that. Yeah,
We used to watch that and seeing those trucks come through and the cars and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, wow, what's that race? And it's like, wow, that's the Dakar Rally. One day we'll do it. The previous years, we've sponsored a couple of guys because we work for our dad. Our business has sponsored a couple of guys. So Neil Hawker and Cy Hewitt. So that really got us like involved with the whole rally. And then once last year finished, it was like, yeah, let's just do it. We've just got to commit to it and just grab it by the horns and just go for it.
You've kind of been thinking about it for years, have you?
Since we could ride bikes, really, as well.
Yeah, it was kind of, so before we even started, motorbikes entered our lives, it was something that we watched. We used to get our grandparents to tape it for us. So we'd kind of watch it during it while it was on Eurosport. They'd tape it, and then we'd watch that same tape right the way through to the next year when it was held again. And then we'd watch that tape for that year. And then we got into motorbikes through our dad that was riding XR 600s and sports bikes. And also our uncle used to race motocross, and we sort of chipped on to that and then started riding motorbikes just randomly through until we were about 17, 18 when we started earning our own money and earning a wage. We thought, yeah, we can buy some motorbikes and go racing. We went down the motocross route from there and started racing motocross. Both got pretty competitive at it, sort of championship level. And it was actually in 2010, we sort of fired up the laptop, opened up an Excel spreadsheet. We went to work out how much it would cost to get to Dakar. And the entry fee at the time was like 12,000 euros or 15,000 euros. And straight away then we were just like, that's not going to happen. There's no chance. We haven't got the money to do that. So we closed the laptop and that was it. We were done. And like Craig said, it wasn't until we got to know the guys that have done the Dakar and through sponsoring them that actually it opens it up and you can actually achieve it. That's why we're sort of gunning for it now, really, isn't it?
Do you think you have a real appreciation of just how difficult it is and what makes you think that you could potentially do it?
We're both pretty confident riders, aren't we? And like at the moment, so the riding side of it, so the actual physical riding each day in the sand with those bikes is probably at the bottom, for me anyway. I don't know about you, Craig, but it's at the bottom of the pile for me. Like I'm fairly confident that the riding will be fine. And the guys that have done Dakar, Cy Pavey, our boss at BMW, he's done it 10 times, completed at 8. He said, like, you guys have got the ride in. The nav you'll need to work on. For me, it's probably more like the mental side of it that's going to be a challenge, so to speak. So.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same as well. It'll be the liaison. So in for Rally de Maroc this year, the first day is 732k.
Yeah, 732k.
And half of that's on the road. All those little things like that is going to wear us down. Like Carl said, that our ability's there. It's just those finer little awkward things that they put in front of you. We've heard a few stories from Neil and the other guys, and they'll send you up to a checkpoint, like 250k up the road, and you get to the checkpoint, stamp in, turn around, you come back down the same road-ish, and then you onto a track, and it's like, you know, all those little mind games that they put in place. I think that'll test us, definitely.
You both work as instructors at Size BMW Off-Road. Tell me the right name, I'll get it wrong.
It's the Off-Road Skills franchise of BMW, or world of BMW. I joined the instructor team 2019, and you joined the instructor team last year, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
I'm really interested to know, how did you get that job? That's a great job, isn't it, surely?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, it's sort of... So obviously growing up as a kid, I wanted to be we both wanted to be professional motocross racers. That's every kid's dream, go and ride motorbikes for a living. It's a bit of a long story, but as we come off the back of motocross and we had to become grown-ups and go and buy houses and do that whole thing, racing motocross and buying a house doesn't go really hand in hand. So we both packed up motocross, went and bought a house, and then off the back of that, once we'd settled, it's time to get back into motorbikes. And by that point, Dad had gone and bought a liquid cooled GS, one of the early models when they started doing them. He went and did his level 1 down there. He came back and he was like, boys, you need to go and have a go on these bikes. They're awesome off-road. And we were both pretty much like, they're 1200cc. They're going to be shit off-road. It's going to be crap. It's going to, it's just going to be gravel roads. And then he ended up paying for us to go down. Off the back of that, we were like, yeah, adventure bike riders. That's what we want to be. We both went down, did a level 2, level 3, did a Welsh 2-day trip with them. We pretty much did all the courses that we could do with them. And then 2018, we entered the GS Trophy as a team, which we won. I won the individual event as well. Pretty much off the back of that, then I got offered a job as an instructor.
Similar kind of story, really, isn't it? It's ish. I think they had us in the pipeline a few years ago for us to work for them. I did the GS Trophy the following year. I qualified to ride for the UK, and then they offered me a job. It wasn't because I don't think it was because we actually won the event that we got the job. It was like there's other things.
Yeah, personalities and things like that they take into consideration. So yeah, both got the call individually, separate, and it was it's good, and it's also cool to be brothers working down at the school, and we do some schools together, which is good, and it's brought like different things out of us as well. Like, for me, talking in front of loads of people was a bit of a nerve-wracking thing, but now I can talk shit for ages now. As you'll probably find on this podcast, I'll be the one just talking shite the whole time.
But you only ever hear great things about that course, don't you?
Yeah, it's awesome. People come there and they have never taken their bike off-road at all. Some of the people just don't even have any confidence riding their bikes on-road. And they'll come up there and they'll just say, like, this course has been life-changing for me. I've got confidence to go back and ride my bike, get it out the garage. We even do, like, little simple things like bike handling skills. When you've got your, £20,000 GSA up off the side stand, it's quite a scary thing to be pushing around. But once you've got that confidence with it, it just takes the stress out of it, and you can go out and enjoy your motorbike then. So,
what advice has Mr. Pavey given you, if any, so far for doing the Dakar?
The first bit of advice he gave us was, you've just got to do it.
Probably the one thing that stands out for me was that he said it's not just Dakar, but it's also the things that Dakar will make you do. For instance, like this podcast, we wouldn't be sat here now talking to you guys and sharing our story with all your listeners.
Rude.
It wasn't for that. Yeah, if it wasn't for us going to Dakar, and he was like, you need to enjoy that and take all that on board, and we wouldn't have been a Venture Bike Festival, we wouldn't have been doing all this stuff. It's just enjoy every part of it, not just that race, enjoy everything. Advice wise, he he's like a guru with Dakar. He's another example is the things that you're good at, leave as they are, work on the things that you're bad at to make it easier. You've got the good things and you get better at riding in the sand, but you'll work that out. You're a good rider. Mentally, you need to start prepping yourself. So little things like always put your helmet in the same place and your gloves in the same place so that when you get up at 4 a.m, you're not wondering where your helmet is and where your one glove is, which is like I'm an admin nightmare on that front. I'll put it down 5 minutes later. I've got no idea where it is.
When you say that, that really sort of rings a little bell with me about just bike trips. That's a big part of bike trips, is getting into that routine of everything in its same place, so you know where everything is. And I pack my bike to go away on a bike trip. It takes a couple of days to get into the routine of knowing exactly that's in that pocket, that goes there, and routine's quite important, isn't it?
100%. Yeah. And I'm like on the opposite end of that scale at the moment. Every time I'll put a different, wallet in one pocket and then I've lost that, and then phone in the other one where the wallet should be. So I definitely need to get better at things like that.
You need to do the man pat. It's like when you just before you leave the house, it's like wallet, phone, keys.
Can I just go back a bit? When you were racing motocross, how often were you racing against each other?
We probably did about half a season, which was probably like 4 months, was it, racing against each other?
You sold your bike, didn't you? Because Carl was sort of like a bit, obviously he's older.
Not that much older.
No, year and a half.
Well, what is the difference? About
18 months. So yeah, Carl's slightly older, so he was like a bit more grown up, so he sold his bike before I did. But then again, I was still in it. I was still sort of racing. I then went up into Carl's class, which was the expert class. Carl made a bit of a comeback, and then we did like sort of half a season together. And the funny story is, like every sibling relationship, you always want to outdo each other, don't you? So on the one race, Carl had a qualifying race. Was it championship? Was it championship round, wasn't it?
It was the final round of the championship, and that was it. All I had to do to win the championship was finish 10th or above. And so, you were in the top. You were finishing top 10. Yeah,
I was finishing top 10 that day. I had a good start out the gate. I think I was going on the inside line or something like that.
I can remember it literally.
and I was like, right, there's my brother. I'm going to go and do him up the inside. So I went up the inside, finished the race, and I was just like, of course, the red mist just comes down. I didn't think of at all that it was it could be a qualifying round for him to win the championship. So yeah, I was just head down, picking away other riders, and I think I finished 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
In the last race. Yeah, so I've beat my brother for once, because Carl's been an expert rider for a lot longer than I was. I was so proud of myself, and he come in and was like, oh well, there goes my championship.
So you could literally have dropped back, let him overtake you, and he'd have finished in the top 10. And
in that moment, if I'd have just sat back and gone, oh no, if there's your championship, go for it.
You were Verstappen to his Perez.
Yeah.
It was funny. I'm thinking, if there's one person in front of me that will let me go, it'll be Craig. And then next thing, I just get the bike come up the side of me, slam me. I was like, who's this dickhead? It's like, that's my brother. And off he rides while I'm trying to get myself sorted and pull away again.
So through a little bit of foul language when the helmets came off.
No, it's sad.
No. Good. That's great.
Get in front. It's racing's racing, and if you're committed, like riding at a pretty fast pace. So if you're committed to a line, and that's what's happening, you're better off committing than backing out. Really, in my racing experience, anyway. Yeah, maybe not a lot of people say that, but.
When you ride the Dakar in 2025, are you going to ride together or ride individually?
We've said we'll get each other over the line come hell or high water. It's one of us needs to be dragged back. That's what we're prepared to do. We want to finish. It's not like we're not going there to get a position. No, it's literally just to finish the race.
Well, you say that, but I can see in Carl's eyes. It's about time.
Carl's already left you behind, Craig.
It's a dish best served cold, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll ride together just until we finish that last one, and I'll just T-bone him just to finish a position ahead.
That fucking championship he lost you.
Yeah.
In your face.
So if you were to ride individually, who do you think would win? Or who would beat each other rather than... We're not going to win.
The golden question we get asked all the time.
That's it. It's a hard one, really. I mean, I would say that Craig is probably going to be a better navigator, for sure. We've both been out to Portugal individually to a place called Wim Motor Academy, where you can do roadbook training for the navigation side of things. And I think when you went, you're a bit more focused on the nav than, like, I just went out there, I thought, you're riding the Portuguese mountains. I'm like just looking ahead, doing a wheelie, skid, turn, power on, look down, shit, I should have turned left 10k back, and then I've got to turn around and ride all the way back and do that. Whereas I think we've got like little jobs as we're setting up, for everything, and Craig's taken the job of getting all the nav gear sorted and ordered and here, and all the trippies and road book and era track and all of that stuff. Navigating, I think Craig's definitely probably, I would say, got me on that. But desert riding, do you reckon, if you had the red mist come down?
It could go either way, really. It depends which side of the bed we wake up. The majority of the time, I know what you're trying to get to is who's quickest at a race. And it literally could be a two-sided coin.
Yeah.
And it literally depends on the day. Like
we're pretty much both level peg. Wherever we go, whatever events we do.
I would say it would be more 70% Carl would finish better than me, maybe a bit less, or 60-20. Yeah, something like that. So Carl percentage-wise is probably better rider than me.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm a better rider than him.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I would say we're pretty much level peg.
Yeah, but it's not really about outright speed, is it? It's more about what's going on in your head to keep going.
Yeah, and those top boys that, Toby Price and those boys they're just on the limit, absolutely flat out. There's no way that we're going to be riding like that. Not a chance. We're going to be at 60-70% of our capability, which is like obviously miles away from theirs, but they're riding like 100% all the time on the limit, whereas they'll make decisions on the day, but we'll be backing it right off, and it's just a case of getting both of us over the line, that finish line, and completing Dakar is the goal. We will be, if it all works out, we will be the first pair of brothers from the UK to finish. That's a kind of nice little touch to it.
Yeah.
It is terrifying to watch the likes of Toby Price and the speed they go through that kind of terrain. And it's quite often that it's the really fast guys that have the nasty accidents in the Dakar because they are just going at 120 miles an hour through uncharted territory, effectively.
So I was really keen on obviously watching the Dakar, keeping up with it. And my wife is also, obviously she's 100% behind us with all this, and she wants to watch the updates and see what's going on with Dakar. And now I've stopped watching the Dakar with her because of the crashes. She's seen the crashes, and it's kind of a little bit of a tactical one for me just to keep it out of the way.
Yeah, so my advice would be don't go too fast, be fine.
They reckon speed has never killed anyone, have they? It's becoming still very quickly is what kills it.
Your motocross is going to give you a big advantage, but I'm just wondering how many people that take part have a background in motocross.
Sam Sunderland, he's British motocross champion, and
Chucky.
No, he's Enduro Chucky.
Do you think the majority of people who enter it do come from a motocross background, or?
Yeah, I think motocross, Enduro. I think a lot of them sort of start off there and then come up that way. Yeah, obviously people like Cy Pavey, the two lads that we know, Neil and Cy Hewitt, they're both Enduro guys that wanted to go rally, so they come from that motocrossy Enduro world background.
Which do you think gives you a bigger advantage, motocross or Enduro?
I think motocross.
Has to be, doesn't it?
No, it's the aggression. So in the sand, you've got to be quite aggressive. You've got to be over the back end, keep the front wheel up. With the dunes and stuff and the soft sand, you've got to be quite aggressive with that. Obviously not too wild or aggressive, but you just need that.
You need the commitment to it.
The commitment, that's it. Yeah. So motocross, 5 or 6 people are going up the jump. If you don't commit, or if one person doesn't commit, that's everyone. Everyone's out the race then. But then again, Enduro, you can.
It's just obviously the endurance side of it, and that's what I was thinking was you're riding for a long time. Motocross, we were only doing
20 minminutes,
20-minute races, 3 of them. Whereas the Enduro side of things, you're out all day and it's a long time in the seat. I suppose both worlds would benefit.
Let's talk a little bit about preparation. Where are you with your preparation now, and how are you breaking it down, and who's doing what? And
what bikes?
So, as Carl mentioned earlier, I've organised all like the nav gear and stuff like that. We can't really prep anymore until we've got the bikes. The bikes that we've gone for are the Husqvarna 450 rally replicas. Basically the same bike as factory teams, pretty much.
Yeah.
A few little tweaks here and there. Fitness-wise,
we've been doing quite a bit of riding, so preparing for that. Like we did a pretty big day the other day, didn't we, out on the green lane? So prep-wise on that front, we're just doing as much riding as we can, basically. It's a little bit difficult. Obviously, we're trying to raise the funds as well. It's difficult finding time to ride and go to ABR festival and go and socialise and things like that, and obviously live family life and do all that. Time is precious at the moment. Prepping, what else we got? We're selling merch as well, and we've got a website going and all that sort of stuff.
What are you doing fitness-wise? Is it too early to get really stuck into the fitness training yet? Is it all about bike time, or are you doing running?
We need to do events that we've done the 24-hour Enduro, which you literally just ride for 24 hours. I think we just need to do stuff like that. It's going to mentally drain us.
Yeah,
that
mental preparation is probably.
Yeah.
I've not started running as yet. We've got Morocco's coming in October. It is something that I'd probably like to start doing as a bit of cardio. If I feel like quite fit enough, I do a bit of mountain biking anyway. That is a hobby, as a side to that. So that's sort of keeping me fit. Obviously, we're doing plenty of ride-ins. I think fitness-wise on that sort of front, I think we're all right. Mental preparation and just spending time on the bike. And we're struggling a little bit as well with mechanical prep on our rally bikes because we've not owned one of these FR 450 rally replicas. We haven't got one at the moment, so we can't sort of take the fuel tank off, or we can because so our dad has bought the KTM's version of the rally bike. Thankfully he found one, so he's got one himself, so kind of working on his, but we can't prep our own, so bike prep is kind of out. Gear prep, we're pretty much there now. So we've got a couple of helmets coming from BMW. So they've sponsored us a couple of helmets, which is really good of them. Boots we've got coming from Marsh Power Sports down in Merthyr Tydfil, a bike dealership. They're sorting us out with those. Ordering custom-made Kenny rally gear. Unfortunately, we've just been told they're on shutdown until the 15th of August.
Honestly, if you go to do a rally, you think it's going to be stressful, like times that by 1,000. So we just thought, oh yeah, we'll get some bikes sorted. Oh yeah, that'll be all right. Yeah, and then we get some kit sorted. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Travel money.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't got the microchip.
The deal with the Huskies, you're expecting those in September, right?
Yeah.
But is there a question mark over whether they'll arrive on time or not?
I think they are almost definitely going to arrive in September now. We don't know when in September. We think it's going to be second or third week. So the bikes we've been told are supposed to be going into production on the last week of August. So they'll be built. Apparently they build them really quickly. They ship them out really quickly because they want the money for them as soon as they can. From the production line to customer is very quick, apparently. I think if we get them by second week of September, I think we'll be fine. Anything any later than that, it's going to be a bit pushed because we leave for Morocco on the 6th of October. It'll literally be like we're sticking the stickers on it as we're travelling down.
So they come straight to you from the Husqvarna chainsaw factory?
They'll come to the dealership first, so they'll come from Husky to Marsh.
Right. But they come out of the box just ready to go.
As close as you can get to ready to race. They are literally, you could put fuel in them, run them in, and they're ready to race.
There's still a few things that you do have to check, but it's just minor things really. It's personal touches, and obviously fitting the navigation gear is going to be a day or two, I should imagine, getting our heads around that. But
yeah.
Would it be impolite to ask, what does one of these bikes cost?
So I think at the moment we've ordered them, but we've not actually been given a final figure at the moment. But there's going to be about 30,000 euros each.
We had that Lel Pavey on our podcast a while ago. I can't remember whether it was him that said it or not. But they don't even make any money on these bikes. They sell them at cost because it's obviously great marketing for them, everybody to see.
Yeah, they make 70 of them a year, 30,000 euros. But we were looking, obviously we're looking to buy spares, and we're, what is an engine, what's a piston, but just the piston is 1,800 euros just for the piston, nothing else. And you think the bottom end is nearly 2,000 euros. It's a lot of money.
And do you have to qualify in any way to get one of these bikes, or is it just a matter of applying in time?
No, I don't think so. I think the dealerships, I think there must be a sort of select process maybe, because like I said, there's only 70 of them. But then I don't really know how many people are going to be buying a 30 grand rally bike every year.
They're designed to last, and if you're spending 1,500 quid on a piston, you kind of hope it's going to last for more than 6,000 miles through the desert, I guess.
When you see one in the flesh, and the way that the little seat pops off, and then you've got like a little carbon toolbox underneath the seat, and it's just like with machined aluminium lugs that push into like little rubber slots, and you're like, oh, it's really factory. You feel like there's a lot of time and effort gone into it for sure. What
are the main differences then between an EXC and a full-on rally bike, other than petrol fuel capacity, obviously?
A fair bit. So it's a different frame. The swing arm's a bit longer. Wheels are a bit more beefier.
Yeah, they've got cush drive. The suspension is full factory suspension. The actual motor block, so from a standard KTM 450 motocross engine to the factory rally bike engine, the block is actually exactly the same. It's just they put these lightweight pistons in, and basically it's a huge carburetor on the top, injection unit that fires air in, and then they got a massive exhaust pipe out that's straight out the side of it. So more air and fuel in, more air, more combustion out of it.
Yeah.
And they produce something like 40 more.
I think it's 40
40 more horsepower out of that 450.
That's incredible. So what's that, about 70 brake horsepower or something?
Yeah.
Incredible. From a 450 single.
And I'm presuming you two are pretty mechanically competent then with your race.
Yeah, we've done quite a bit. So I suppose around about the same time as all the motocross stuff was going. Obviously, we're working on our own motocross bikes, but we've also done a fair bit of Land Rover stuff over in Morocco. We had breakdowns over there where we've had to change prop shafts and get the locals to weld a scaffold pole in and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, we're adventures and things breaking down. And even as kids, we're fixing our little push bikes and building jumps and all that sort of stuff. No mechanical qualifications, but we've both completely restored 80s motocross bikes and raced both of them.
Our he was a trained mechanic. We helped him rebuild a Jeep. We rebuilt the V8 engine in your Defender, which went a bit wrong, didn't it? Just as we started, we were running around like that because there was bits of engine flying everywhere, but we managed to sort that out though ourselves, didn't we? So
he's a pretty cool dad, your dad, isn't he? Sponsored rider. He's presumably helping you guys out a bit as well for this one. He's got his own rally bike. Is he actually rallying it, or is he just bought it because he can and he likes them?
Dad is obviously a pretty big driving force behind this, and obviously he's our boss within the family firm. We went and had a chat to him, and he obviously got us into Dakar. He was the one that bought that videotape home years ago. So he loves Dakar, loves the trucks, loves the bikes. He got us into the adventure biking scene. We went to him and we said, like, Dad, we're going to go to Dakar in 2025. We might need a little bit of extra time off work and a bit of support. And he was like, well, you ain't going without me.
Well done, sir.
He'll actually turn 60 when we're out in Saudi, to be fair. So he's 58 at the minute, and every time we go riding, something happens. So he's broken his thumb, he's dislocated his wrist, he's snapped his bicep off the inside of his elbow, so went up there. He's had he's cartwheeled a GS 1250 down a fire trail, knocked himself out. Wherever we go, he normally ends up in an ambulance, doesn't he? So we were kind of like, do you know what? You better sit Dakar out.
Now, look, we're about your dad's age. I mean, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Has he always ridden like this, or is this something that's happened as he's got older? This is what I'm very interested in.
I can remember since like one of my earliest memories of Dad is him turning up on an XR 600 that he slid down the road on, and all the dye had come out of his jeans and had gone all over his leg. And he's just riding it with a vest top and a pair of denim jeans on.
Hey,
yeah,
excellent.
Legend.
Was he racing XR 600s or just trail riding with them?
No, just trail riding and right. Just being a bit of a menace, I think, really, more than anything.
On one of your videos on your YouTube channel there, where you had Plan A, Plan B and Plan C back to the beginning again, and the different plans were involving whether you were going to go Mali Moto or original by Motul versus having your dad driving a support truck. Where are you now?
It still could go either way, really. So it all just depends on funds. I think Dad's pretty certain that he's coming to Dakar.
Yeah, he's pretty set on he's coming. He's absolutely buzzing for it. In fact, he's, let's have a Dakar meeting. We obviously all work in the same company, and he's like, lads, can you come and have a chat? I want to have a Dakar meeting and see where we're at with everything. What sponsors have you got? What have we got? Where can I help? Can I do this? And
what are you most and least looking forward to about the Dakar?
The thing I'm most looking forward to, quite cliche, it's getting over that finish line with your brother. Just like, going up, getting those medals, putting them over, and job done. And I'm not looking forward to a sore ass, because we are going to get a sore ass at some point. It's not a matter if we do, it's when we're going to get a sore ass. Obviously, I got the family, so yeah, it's going to be a hell of a long time away from the family. I mean, Morocco for me is 9 or 10 days, whereas Dakar is 14 days of racing. So there's obviously admin before and getting home, so it's looking at 20 odd days away from the family. That's going to be a killer for me, I think.
Take them with you then. That'll fucking kill you even more.
That'll definitely kill the old the budget anyway. You can go on holiday to the Dakar. You can do like an experience.
I did it twice, just into Morocco. There's like the last year that it was there, and I went the year that it got cancelled as well. Didn't work out quite so well. But no, it's amazing. And the guy that was guiding us, one of his neighbours had helped create the piste as well. So we had the road book, so we knew exactly where we could go and watch from different parts of the track. It was amazing. We ended up helping about 3 riders as well with fuses and goggle lenses and stuff like that. It was great to play a little part of it. And then later, we actually managed to get into the bivouac, one of the marathon stages. And we were there, and we got chatting to an American guy, Chris somebody or other, who a few years later got a horrible spinal injury.
Stop talking about injuries.
Yeah, sorry.
What, he fell off a ladder?
Burnt his fingers on his exhaust or something like that. So we'd pre-ridden some of the course the day before. He was in the lead, or he thought he was in the lead. I think he set off first that day, and he was going, what the fuck is going on? So there's all 12 different tracks going across this dry lake bed. And he was going, what's happened? I was in the lead.
Who were we talking to recently about what a massive disadvantage? Was it Joe Mercer about what a huge disadvantage it is to be in the lead because you haven't got a track to follow?
Yeah, exactly that. You are literally setting the course, and if your navigation's on point, everyone behind you is going to catch you pretty quick. There are tactics that go into it, though. They will put a turn in on purpose just to confuse other competitors and ride with their feet down, so it creates a different track. I have heard a few different tricks and things that they do.
Tying a branch to the back of the bike to sort of get rid of the tracks. Are you going to Morocco mainly just to get as much time in the sand as possible?
Morocco is going to be, it's actually Rally de Morocco, which is an ASO qualified event, so ran by the guys that run Dakar, and it's an actual qualifying round. So
I see.
We need to at least finish that rally, and ideally at a reasonable pace as well, to give us, because you can't just turn up and race Dakar anymore. You have to prove to them you're a decent enough rider and you can deal with these conditions and terrain. Sorry, Rally de Morocco is a qualifier for us, basically.
I see. Oh, that's going to be an eye-opener, isn't it?
Tell us how we can follow along with your journey over the next year and a half to Dakar 25.
Obviously, we've got the website. We're selling merch. We've got a YouTube channel that we're going to, when we find some time, we'll do some vlogs. We've just signed up to Patreon, haven't we?
Yeah,
just recently.
Exclusive for your podcast, that is. That's not even gone out yet. We've signed up to Patreon. We're going to try and work out how it works later on tonight.
We've obviously got the Instagram and Facebook as well.
And even though it's 25, 25 sounds to us mere mortals, quite a long time away. But do you feel like there's a hell of a lot to do in that time?
Oh, and it is going so fast.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that Morocco is like less than 8 weeks away now. Back in January, we were like, yeah, it's fine. We'll go and order the bikes. We'll order the parts. We've still got no bikes, no gear, no wheels, because we can't find XL rims at the moment. We've got the Talon are making us wheels. They can't find the rims. Got a little bit of it, but then the key items are missing. Yeah. The bikes, and we do have a backup plan for the bikes. Obviously, Dad's got his rally bike, and if it comes to it, we'll just have to go and buy another one from somewhere, find one, a second-hand one or something.
A backup from Morocco, you mean?
Yes, sorry, Morocco. Yeah. If our bikes don't turn up, we're kind of hoping once we've done Morocco, there'll be some cool pictures of us in the sand, and we'll have finished it, and then that'll be like a real driving force behind trying to drum up some sponsorship then and get in there.
Listen, I've got an XL 600 there with some Paris Dakar stickers on it.
That's done the Dakar, hasn't it, that one?
No.
But it does have a Paris Dakar sticker on it.
So you mentioned sponsorship. How can people sponsor you? And I know you've created a few different packages, haven't you, for people to throw you a few quid?
It's all on the website. So there's various options you can go for. So I think, is it 4 tiers?
Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and elite. So there's five different, and it sort of starts from £50 and goes up to the 1,000, and it's sort of each tier gets you tied into the team. Once you get up to like the sort of gold mark, which is £500 off the top of my head, that'll get you into like exclusive stuff. Like we're going to create our own WhatsApp group. Just drip feed them like information and basically become part of the team. That's what we want. We want people to be involved and sort of into the team and being a part of it. For us, it's kind of a dream that we've always wanted to do, and we want people to come along with us as well. And sort of we've got a lot of people already supporting us that have loved to have done the Dakar, and they've said there's no way that they can do it, but to be a part of our journey is sort of going along with them. And I think we found that when we sponsored Neil and Cy Hewitt, being a part of their journey, and that was like our way into Dakar. We're like, we're a part of it. There's our little Liquitech Limited sticker on their bikes or on their gear. And it's like, we're all, it almost felt like you were there. And then we just want to give like people the opportunity to do that as well.
Your website is Searles2Dakar.com, which is SEARLES, then a number 2, Dakar, DAKAR.com. Get on it. Give the boys some money.
Yes, please.
Do you sell space on the bike? Does it work like an F1 car almost, where you sort of sell?
Yeah.
So then we've also got commercial options as well. We've got 4 tiers for corporate sponsorship, basically. And it starts from, a sticker as big as a fag packet to, if you wanted your company name written right the way down the side of the bike and us wearing it. We've got tiers that will go, from, so tier 1 starts at 1,500 and so basically tier 5, which is
like outright naming of the team.
Yeah, so outright naming of the team is 30k.
I'm probably going to have to sneak into the garage or the bivouac and put a sticker on when you're not looking in that case.
Yeah. We've had all sorts of ideas. So some of the guys that like Rory and those guys were saying, do you reckon if we drum up $5,000 we can just write something on your bike? And I won't repeat what they said. And put like a sticker on the sump guard that, if you do drop your bike, it's like,
A family friend of ours he sponsored us £500. Yeah, he wants his face on the bike.
Yeah.
Not his name.
Yeah.
We've got like the perfect place for his face to go.
When you're doing the Dakar, is catering part of the support package, or do you?
Yeah, that's included in the fee. So yeah, food and water's included. Fuel isn't. You pay extra for the fuel, don't you?
Yeah.
We just found that out from Morocco.
So
we thought it was included, but then they've said no, you owe us €250 per bike. I thought €250 wasn't too bad.
It's not too bad for fuel, but when you've paid £4,500 to enter, it was a little bit cheeky, I thought. But
Are you staying in a lovely place in Morocco? Do you know where you're staying at?
In the back of a van or lorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's no luxury accommodation.
Right. I was imagining tagines every night and local colour. Yeah. Have you got an Instagram account?
Yeah. Just Searles2Dakar. So everything is just Searles2Dakar, and you should find your way there. Yeah, and if you go on Instagram, there'll be a link that takes you to our link tree, which then you can see the Facebook website. It's all there.
There's lots of options on the website as well for sponsorship. So it's not just the packages. If you just want to give the guys a tenner, or probably even nicer would be to sign up to Patreon. So you don't even notice a few quid coming out of your bank account each month, but it'll mean a whole heap of difference to these guys to get there.
I've said buy us one beer a month.
Fuck off, I'm keeping my beer. Oh, superb. If there's anything we can do to help over the next year and a half, just give us a shout and we'll do what we can to help.
Yeah, if there's anything that you guys can think of or anything like that, or any of your listeners, we're up for anything. We're well up for socialising, coming out, meeting, bike meets, festivals.
Yeah, the one thing we were going to do is come and ride with us. When we get the rally bikes, so it'll be probably next year now.
When the weather gets better.
So springtime really next year. We're going to do, if we still got the rally bikes, we'll do a bit of the Welsh Tet. Come and follow us. We'll be your like sort of guides, as it were. Come and spend a couple of days with us.
I was going to say, I'll start prepping the 250L now.
Yeah, we've gone the other way, getting old. Like we get old as your dad, and our bikes are getting smaller and less powerful.
Bring the XL.
I've got a CRF 300, and I've also got a 1050 KTM, which I haven't ridden for a while, and I had to get it out and get it MOT'd the other week. So I've been riding a 300 all the time, where you just go like that.
And just hold it.
I've lost all fucking throttle control, so I got on the 1050. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, going back to that KTM, it's just going to be like a switch, isn't it, I suppose?
Brilliant.
Yeah, come and do the Tet with us, and I want to see Noel do a wheelie.
Well, that sounds really exciting. No, actually, I don't wish I was going too fucking old, too slow. But yeah, what an amazing adventure that's going to be for the guys. We're utterly grateful to them both for joining us and spending some time with us to talk us through their preparations. And as I said at the start, hopefully we'll get them back on a couple of times to talk about how it's going and how it went. If you do have any spare cash, please think about the guys and help them along their way and play your part in it. All right, see you next time. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you really appreciate what we do, you could consider supporting us on Patreon or buy us a coffee. Links are available on our website, which is tampodcast.com, tampodcast.com, where we also have a limited selection of branded stuff. But either way, please keep listening and spreading the word. See you next time.